It's a crazy time for American politics. You all know we're living under the Trump administration, and many on the left are accusing this administration of attacking trans people. Well, I guess if you think the government is attacking trans people, then we need to create sanctuary cities. Not sanctuary cities for illegal immigrants, as we've done in the past, but for transgender individuals. And we have our first transgender sanctuary city in Worcester, Massachusetts. And this came with a big council meeting where a bunch of trans, non-binary, gender fluid people came to address the council, and it has resulted in some of the most insane videos I've seen in quite some time. So we're going to react to that today and talk about what it means to be a transgender sanctuary city. Guys, buckle up. Buckle up. Okay.
I need the city to protect me because the federal government won't. And if you think you're afraid of Trump, you should see how afraid of Trump I am.
Can you wrap up, please?
Yes, I can.
Can you get the show on the road, please? I'm sorry, I can't.
If you say that you're afraid of Trump and that's why you don't want the city to be a safe space for trans people, you better prepare for trans people to make this a very unsafe space.
I'm actually really confused. It's giving biological woman. The voice is giving biological woman. The makeup and the hair is giving man transitioning to be a woman. I don't know. No comment.
I'm shaking right now. I don't want to be here.
Up,
I'm sorry, am I taking too long pleading for my life?
You remembered how many children I have and that 2 of them are trans.
Okay, pause. First of all, how'd you get 2 trans kids? What are the odds, guys? What are the odds that you have 1 household and 2 trans kids, okay? I don't think that the odds are very high on that unless you are completely indoctrinating your children into thinking they are not the gender they were born as. I rest my case.
I speak as both the B and the T in the LGBT.
I'm multiply disabled. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder that causes me immense physical pain. I'm on the autism spectrum, and I have narcolepsy, and I couldn't drive myself here, so I had to hide from my driver that I was in drag, which is not an easy thing to do in drag.
Oh, that explains. This was drag. Okay.
Do not want to be here. It's my day off. I do not want to be in your DMs. I do not want to be in your email inboxes. I do not want my creativity writing diss tracks like Kendrick. I don't want to spend an hour applying glitter on my face so that you will hear and see me.
You didn't have to do all that, miss. You did not have to do all that. And you know what? I'm gonna go out on a really strong limb here and say she absolutely wants to be doing all of these things. As I said in previous videos, a lot of people who are highly invested in this sort of ideology, who are showing up to council meetings and screaming at their representatives in this way, they are fueled by these activities. And if they had none of these activities to engage in, their lives would end. I mean, there would be nothing for them to do. They are so consumed with this idea of oppression on the basis of gender or on the basis of being a woman or being black, a person of color, whatever the case may be, that if you take that away from them and you truly had everything be equitable, they would find something else to be oppressed over, and they would show up to your next council meeting because they have nothing else if not this.
I want you to listen to me.
Let us remember that the Nazis burned the books the Nazis burned books on gender sciences first. Now the administration has villainized and marginalized migrant workers, trans, LGBT people, and even special needs, denying life-saving and affirming care.
Can you look at me and tell me how many of my friends need to die before you do anything?
Please wrap up.
Look at me!
Okay, we're all done here.
I'd be like, dude, unfortunately I have to look at you right now. I have to sit here and give you your, what is it, 2-3 minutes to get through this. I have to point out the sign in the back. I see you. Silence equals death. So not only are your actions violent, your words are violent, your silence is violence. This sort of ideology is what crumbles civilizations, folks. I mean, I have no other way to put it. If this goes and builds and progresses and comes to its natural conclusion, we're done. We're cooked. We are cooked.
Fucking
Hey,
pathetic.
no, we're all done. Come on.
Of course, we need to continue celebrating Black History Month because in spite of what's coming down from Washington, we all know that we all exist and we all need to be recognized for our existence.
But be aware that you are a guest in my house when you come. And when you come, know that there are strong queer and trans people in my classroom who will collect you with the quickness.
My name in drag is Dee Dee Delight. And my name out of drag is Dewey Cosgrove Atienza.
Laddie LaRouge, he, they, in drag, District 3.
My legal name is Olivia D'Ambrosio. My public name is Livy Scanlon.
I just don't. There's so much to address. There's actually so much going on in this video that I don't know where to start. And it seems like everybody is coming to the podium with some sort of character on. There's crazy makeup, there's weird outfits, there's drag names, there's dead names and legal names and chosen families and trans kids and all this sort of stuff going on. And what it signals to me is just a deep set incongruence with reality. These individuals need a reality check, and instead they are going to these council meetings and trying to make other people live in this falsified reality that they've created for themselves out of a deep set discomfort with who they actually are as individuals. And that discomfort has manifest in these outfits and the makeup and the new names and the drag names, and they are trying to make themselves feel better by policing everybody into believing this made-up existence that they've created for themselves, and it's not going to go anywhere. I mean, this is now a sanctuary city, and we'll talk about what that means in just a moment, but something in me is just signaling that this cannot go on. Like, this cannot survive. It has to be a trend of some sort where at some point in our existence, logic and reason is going to settle in, and this will be taken care of. I hope.
My wife and I own a home in the Canal District.
I speak as someone who is always misgendered, like all the time. People refer to me as sir when I prefer to be referred to as ma'am. I speak as someone who is afraid to use public toilets. I speak as someone who is a member of this community and is a queer person.
Guys, I feel bad. I don't know. I just feel like you could not get a better sign or a better video that indicates that we're in the middle of a mental health crisis. This is very clear. I mean, these individuals, if I showed you them in isolation without the knowledge of the context in which they are making these statements, you would think that these individuals are mentally ill. And if we're looking at these afflictions that they're dealing with and the idea that they think they've been born in the wrong body and they should take on new names and new makeup and new sexual traits and undergo surgery and all these different things, that is mental illness. We have to be able to say that out loud.
I have to imagine being me and my wife, fearing that our marriage rights will be stripped away at any moment.
Please, I only have so much time. Please, Joe's gonna cut me off.
Which matters more? Covering the legal fees of systemic police brutality or protecting the lives of queer people in our community? How many lives have to be lost before you consider fighting back against fascism and corruption?
Now is the time to say that if federal money relies on the dehumanization of trans people, that we don't want your goddamn money.
I get that some of you care more about easy funding than trans lives and don't mind Nazis for some whatever reason, but
Normally I would say good evening, but through the chair I will only impart my sour grapes.
It's an extremely emotional and taxing thing to stand up here as someone as part of the trans and gender diverse community.
How deep do I want to go into this? there's a lot going on here. I see so much of myself, of my former self, in these individuals, and these might be more extreme cases than what I was dealing with at the time, but it's really hard to believe their indication that they're going through a lot of emotional stress and turmoil. I mean, clearly it's manifest in the physical for a lot of these people and their beliefs on gender, but I cannot help but think they derive so much meaning from being at these meetings and taking their spot on the podium. And maybe there's a little bit of narcissism at play, that you feel as an individual you need to be heard in this way at all times, and that entire cities should be moving around their funding and what it is they do to protect your vision as an individual of what reality should be. And if it is narcissism that is fueling what you're doing right now, we all know that behind narcissism or fundamental to narcissism is deep insecurity. You are tremendously insecure about your place in the world, who you are as an individual, what you bring to the world, and it can manifest in ways like this. And I just feel bad because I think there's a lot of people in this video that do truly believe that they are oppressed, truly believe that this is a fight for their livelihoods and their existence. But mixed in that, there are people who are gaining a lot more than they ever would have, being their true selves in taking on this identity and choosing this to be their battle. So it's such a mixed bag of characters, for sure, in what I'm seeing.
My name is Katie. I'm from District 5, and I'm speaking in support of agenda items 10B and 14B. Right now in our country, Trump is threatening the trans and gender diverse community.
Noticing people here are trying to control the rights of others, and that's not right. We should make Worcester a sanctuary city for trans people. Everybody deserves to feel safe, and everybody needs to feel safe. I've lived here for 4 years, and there hasn't really been any changes in how people feel safe in the city. My birthday is this Saturday, and all I want is peace and for you to vote yes. Please don't let me down for my birthday. There's a lot of queer people that I love, and to Candy Carlson, you should know to never call someone I'm 7 and I know better. The kids are watching and we're ready to vote you out.
Oh, that just breaks my heart. First of all, the kid's wearing a t-shirt with an upside down American flag. He's not old enough to be addressing council members in this way. So that video that you just watched is only the result of indoctrination from parents, which we all do in some way with children. We're trying to impart our values on them and make them go through the world sharing those values with other people, hopefully when they're old enough to understand these things. I hate both on the left and right when children are utilized for these sorts of speeches where they're saying something that clearly they do not know, what they're talking about. Clearly, somebody has given them this information to share and has told them to feel so bold as to say they're going to vote these individuals out of power. And then the kid has this sort of relationship with the parent where they feel like this is why they're valued and they get a pat on the back for performing in this way. And it's just an endless cycle of indoctrination that is just not necessary. Sure, you can give your values to your kids and talk about what they mean to you, but don't have them go to meetings like this and speak in a way that is going to be documented forever when they have no idea what it is they're actually talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Now, if you watched that video and said there's no way this is going to be a successful movement, wrong. This city of Worcester ends up becoming a sanctuary city. And we're going to read this little article here. It says it's official. Worcester is a sanctuary city for transgender community. Now, we'll read through here. The resolution filed by Worcester resident Ali Sislow on behalf of queer residents of Worcester and our allies asked the city council to declare itself a sanctuary city and a place of safety for transgender and gender diverse people. Now, you may be asking yourself, what does this mean? Well, in declaring Worcester a sanctuary city, the city council committed to equal protections for LGBTQIA+ people It affirms that the city recognizes the importance of gender-affirming healthcare and upholding access to it for all within Worcester, that, quote, no city resources or city property shall be utilized for detaining persons for solely seeking or providing gender-affirming care, end quote, and that, quote, no city resources shall be utilized for cooperating with or providing information to any individual or out-of-state agency or department regarding the provision of gender-affirming healthcare, end quote. Now, I don't know how much of an effect this is actually going to have on the people in this city. Now, we all know that President Trump has pushed through executive orders that recognizes male and female as the two sexes, the two genders, whatever word you want to use. He's obviously rewritten Title IX, where those protections for transgender individuals are no longer present as a means of protecting women's sports and women's spaces. So I think if the city is violating any of these orders, they may be held back from any federal funding that would be funneled into the city, and they'll have to deal with those repercussions. Now, of course, Donald Trump has also banned federal funding towards the transitioning of minors, those below the age of 18. So I'm imagining this city is going to function as a place where minors can go to receive that gender-affirming care despite the executive orders from our executive branch. And it'll be interesting to see if this becomes sort of a hot spot for people with this identity to go and seek safety as a sanctuary city. To me, it makes far more sense with like illegal immigrants that you would find these hot spots where people sort of pool into sanctuary cities. We'll see if the same thing takes place with transgender individuals. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, we kind of already have transgender sanctuary cities like, you know, Portland. Like there seem to be hotspots on the U.S. map of where are these individuals and where this ideology tends to congregate. And I guess Worcester is just already one of those cities. And now they want to write it down and codify the fact that they are not going to be listening to the federal government and their views on there being two sexes. We'll see how that works out for them. If the council meeting is any indication of just how healthy this city is, I don't think it's going to get much healthier on the other end of declaring itself a sanctuary city. And are more sanctuary cities going to pop up? I guess we'll wait and see. But if it means that people who believe these things are going to sort of congregate in one area and, you know, do their thing, okay. Hopefully it doesn't mean that minors are going to be pushed through the medical system to continue to receive gender-affirming care, which we all know just ends up in bodily mutilation and sterilization. Hopefully that's not what this means. Or I think Worcester's going to have a problem on their hands. Guys, let me know how you feel about this video. Let me know how you feel about the different people who showed up to that council meeting. I'm sure you'll have plenty to say in the comments. As always, if you disagree with anything I said in this video, do get out, but do so respectfully. We encourage healthy debate on this channel. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time I post a video for you guys, which is every day. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.